Is it just us two today?
Yes. Okay, well, actually, at the moment, it's a bit early, so... How are you, Chaim?
Baruch Hashem.
Who owns it?
It's-
Well then,
I heard you're recording some Shiurim for us.
the park.
Yeah, I'm hoping to. I'm not even sure how to do it
What?
because
It's sheltered. The slides are all sheltered, are they not?
they don't want me to do it today or tomorrow or the next day because those show what's been ordered. So I have to do it like on that day because Chabbat's the afternoon, a whole load of showing.
All right.
Yeah, no,
How's
you
the
can't
face preparations going?
take him away because that
Yeah.
would definitely put you off.
Getting there.
Where?
See, I
No, one
picked
bedroom.
it up.
One
How
bedroom
many
so
kids do you
far.
have?
Sorry, one.
Mon, what age?
She's just turned 5.
Is she listening to the show?
No. She wants, 2 days ago, she was jumping up and down behind me. I don't know if you saw, and she jumped down, just climbing some toys, but I try to keep her away.
Hello, Yehuda, you okay?
Oh, shit. Oh, we started a couple of minutes later, so we have to clap for the clapping again.
Well, our learning will be as a chus for them.
I clapped last week. That should be enough. Oh, I think my children clapped. Sorry. You're supposed to all clap at 8 o'clock.
He's not doing it, he's telling these kids to.
No, it's not.
Clapping, by the way, I have to clap, by the way.
What?
I have to clap for the 8
Oh, 8
minutes.
o'clock. Are
Yeah.
they doing it again? Next week we have to do a pots and pans. You never got this thing in Manchester.
If you want to, you can.
Whatever. So this week they're saying that everyone should shine torches to the sky, and next week let's make as much noise as possible. Bring out your pots and pans. No, they are, but like the government are a joke.
You feeling any better, Yehuda?
In America.
A lot better today.
Well, that's good. Well, Shem.
Yeah. First day that I've been up properly as well. Like,
Hello, Tali. How are you
Yes,
doing?
for 18 months now.
Hashem, how are you?
Oh,
Nothing
Hashem.
Feeling better. Feeling
Better
better.
every day.
Baruch Hashem.
I forgot. Somebody told me that there's some clapping today, but
Should we do it for a minute or not?
you have to do it outside. You have to walk outside to do it.
Either from a balcony, a window, or a front door. Some of the people
I
will
don't
hear
have
you.
a balcony, so that's.
get up on your balcony and give you a royal wave. I've got Benny on as well today.
Oh, Benny.
Ah,
Hello.
Benny. Oh,
Benny's been busy. Latavas at Sybil. Unbelievable, Benny.
I'm sorry we needed.
The buyers, yeah.
unfortunately.
You should not be needed, Benny.
It's not a pleasure.
Daddy, what do you mean? Are you?
No, happy furniture. We've done our fair share of clapping.
Benny, you're not clapping, Ben.
What?
And you should,
I thought tonight was clap for accountants.
Hello.
You're clapping yourself on the back.
Absolutely.
You're an accountant, Ben.
I am, yes.
By
At
trade.
which company?
Sorry?
You work for a company or you yourself or what?
Part for myself, part for a company.
Which company?
Ben, this
Half and a half?
you don't need the accountants.
No. It's far too high for me.
Ben, the last few months we don't need the accountants. The government's given us enough.
Absolutely. No, you need me to work out how to get it for you.
I got a letter today. With a form to claim the money.
The
really?
self-employed?
Which council?
No, not the self-employed.
The council one.
Manchester
10 grand.
Manchester Council. Fill out this form. We'll send you 10 grand.
Yeah.
Literally like that.
Did you tell Teddy how to do it?
Hey, can directors take a furlough or not?
Yes.
And not on the
Yeah.
dividends.
No, not
No,
on
not
dividends. On your
dividends.
salary.
On your
Am I
salary.
allowed to still do accounting? Like keep the company going or not?
Yeah, because directors have to.
Right, very good. Good.
And Ron, you're missing it.
Like my kids want to go and clap, so I'm going to join them. I'm back in a minute.
Is there clapping going on?
Let's clap. Right. Let's clap.
I think it looks like everyone's going to clap. You clap.
Nobody's clapping on King's Road, I'm afraid. I wanted to look out the window, I couldn't see anybody clapping. Right, we've got actually quite a lot of Agadah. Where's my pen? Right, can we start? Okay, not yet, we'll give it another minute.
It wasn't as much as Shabbos as last week. Bit less enthusiastic.
Ben's gone for himself. Ben's doing it for himself.
Right, we're all on mute now.
Will be.
Right. Oh, I can hear them clapping.
Somebody's blowing shofar in my street.
Oh, yeah?
Benny, is that you?
Right, okay.
That's blowing his nose, not
Some numpties
shofar.
out there with pots and pans.
That's next week.
There's always
That's
one
next
that takes you
week.
too far. Always one.
No, Benny, they said next week come with pots and pans. This week was torches. Next week is
Could
just Seder night.
We're just disturbing NHS from working. We're distracting them. Let them do what they're doing. That's it.
Right. We're up to Daf Chof Tes Amud Beis, the Mishnah, 15 lines from the top. We've got much lighter Gemara, but much longer Daf, and always seems to go hand in hand together. So I have to put a bit of speed on. In those days, the light of the Shabbos candles was the only source of light, and people would make a lot of effort that the light should not go out. So they'd have to find ways to add oil to the lamp. And usually the lamp wasn't so big. There were 3 methods that they had. We're going to look at them in more detail later, but let's just look very briefly. One is to take an eggshell, fill it with oil, and then have the eggshell with a tiny hole dripping into the lamp where the oil is. We'll see later. Another example is you can see over here, I don't know if you can see it so well, 2 lamps where you just put one bowl next to the other, you fill the second bowl with oil, and then you put the wick through the first bowl and into the second bowl. Okay, we'll see.
It's colour lotion on, Yehuda's asking.
Yeah, it is. It's been on for ages. Oh, it's might not be so loud. Let me put it a bit louder, but it's been on the whole time.
I'll tell him.
Text him and tell him that if it's not on, he should let you know straight away.
Yeah.
Now, what's the problem with these systems is that if you put oil if you put oil in a bowl and next put the Shabbos candle, since the Shabbos candle is not directly in the oil, rather it's going from one bowl to the next, when the person looks at the second bowl of oil, he thinks to himself, well, if I'm hungry, I want some oil for myself, I can help myself. The problem is that it's a deraisa to take oil out of a bowl, which has got a candle light from it. What is the issa deraisa? Which issa is it?
Extinguishing?
Yeah, extinguishing. Mechaber. So even though normally we don't worry about it, the reason we don't worry about it is because most people are aware of the problem. And when they see an oil, a bowl with oil inside it and a lit wick, they're not going to start taking oil out because they know there's an issa to be mechaber, there's an issa to extinguish. But when you have these various contraptions where the oil is not directly inside where the wick is, then the person doesn't realize that by taking oil from this second container, he's actually making the candle go out quicker, and he could be over an issa d'oraisa. So let's see the Mishnah inside. Lo yikev odom, a person should make a hole in a shvofer shabetza, an eggshell, v'maleno shemen, and fill it with oil, v'itnena pianeh, and put it by the mouth, by the entrance of the candle, v'shvil shtem na'tefes, in order that it should drip. V'afilu hi shel cheres, even if it's made out of earthenware. Earthenware is always dirtier. So you might have thought if the oil is an earthenware bowl, he's not likely to take the oil out because once it's an earthenware bowl, people get put off the oil. Even so, it's awesome. Rabbi Yehuda matter. That means, obviously, Rabbi Yehuda agrees taking the oil out is forbidden. Rabbi Yehuda is not chayshish that you will take out oil. If the one who made it connected it from originally, mutter mipnei shu keli echad, because it's one keli. So here you've got the case. This is forbidden according to Tanakama, because it's an eggshell which is dripping oil into the bowl. This is connected. This is joined on. So therefore it's mutter. A person shouldn't fill a bowl of oil. And put it next to the candle. Put the second end of the wick inside it. Or they should draw oil. So here you've got the oil with the wick inside, normal oil lamp. Next it's another bowl, and you put the wick through this one into that one. It's forbidden. Why is it forbidden? Because somebody coming to this bowl of oil will say to themselves, there's nothing wrong with helping myself to a little bit of oil. And by helping themselves a bit of oil, they'll make that candle go out quicker. Yehuda's matter is not choishes. If you examine carefully our Mishnah, there are actually 3 different cases in our Mishnah. An eggshell, a piece of earthenware, and finally, another bowl. So that's the 3 cases. It says we need all 3 cases. Why? Why do you need 3 cases? Since it's not moles, it's not despicable, it's not off-putting. People will help themselves to the oil. And it'll be mechab aval shel cheres, but earthenware demi isa. Maybe they agree to Rabbi Yehuda, there's no chashash. If it says the earthenware, Rabbi Yehuda, there Rabbi Yehuda is permits because he knows that it's off-putting and people will not come to help themselves. When it comes to eggshell, maybe it's forbidden. If you say these 2 cases, the honeycomb Rabbi Yehuda, there Rabbi Yehuda says it's okay. There's no hefsek, there's no difference between one bowl and the other. Another bowl of oil, the mifseka, where there's a hefsek, where there's a break between, maybe he's masking to the chachamim, that should be forbidden. If you only say in the case of the second bowl, the chachamim forbid. In the first 2 cases, where it's all one thing, maybe they're good Rabbi Yehuda. Tzrichas, we need the cases. That means Rabbi Yehuda always says, I am not geyser, I'm not concerned that maybe a person will help themselves to oil. The Chachamim say, yes, I'm always concerned. I'm always concerned that a person will help themselves to oil. There are 3 different cases, an eggshell, an earthenware bowl, and finally a 3rd bowl, like a whole new bowl afterwards. In each case, some of them, the bigger Chiddush is Rabbi Yehuda, and some cases the Chiddush is Rabban. We need to know that all 3 cases, both the Chachamim and Rabbi Yehuda argue. In the case, for example, it's a second bowl. So then it's much more likely to say that what? What's more likely in the second bowl? That you should be mekel or machmir? You should be machmir, because since it's a second bowl, when a person looks at it, a person doesn't realize that by taking oil from there, he's diminishing the capacity of light in the other bowl. So then that's definitely awesome. But in a place where the whole thing is just one piece and there's an eggshell dripping into it and everybody can see it's inside it, you might have thought, well, that's everybody will know not to take oil. In all cases, they are. If it was connected originally, it's okay. If you connected it with lime or bechalsis, I think chalsis is clay, but you can check in the article to check. Mutter. It says the one who made it. As long as it's similar to the one manufacturer. That means you don't need that the manufacturer should be the one to actually connect the bowls. As long as it's connected with a proper connection, i.e. with lime or cement or something like that, and therefore by using this bonding agent, you've made it properly into one container, so then it's mutter. What is it forbidden is when it's 2 separate containers, because then there's a chashash that you'll help yourself to oil from one without realizing you're diminishing the oil of the second. But in a case where you've connected them properly together, we're not choshesh. Tanya, Omar Rabbi Yehuda, Pamachas, once Shovasnu, Shiftenu, we had the Shabbos Balias Beis Nidza in the upstairs of Beis Nidza Balut. Beis Nidza was the person's name. In Lut, the family name. They brought us a shvefera shel beitza, a eggshell. We filled it with oil and we made a hole We left it by the candle. He said nothing. So you see that it's permitted. So Yehuda uses that as support for his opinion. From there it's a proof. Shani based Nitzah, this reason there were people that were careful, they were hurried, they weren't lazy, and were not chayshish that they chas v'shalom will come to help themselves to oil. Ovin Tzipori. Ovin, who was their man, the leader of Tzipori, or lived in Tzipori, Goa Safsalo, he dragged a bench, Bi'ilisa de Sheisha, in the upstairs, which had a marble floor, Le'elam Rabbi Yitzchak ben Elazar, in front of Yitzchak ben Elazar. Now we know, dragging a table or a chair on Shabbos, on the ground, what is the din? Who knows? Not so straightforward. What's the din of dragging a table?
If you don't want the hole.
If you're not doing it for the hole, you're just dragging it.
Then it's charisha, no?
If you do it for
the other way around.
If it's for the hole, it's charisha.
If it's not for the hole, then it's
Oh, we're talking about a case where it's not psikration. It's not definitely going to make a follow. It will probably make a follow. Might make a follow. So it's machlekes Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon, whether Dover Shein Miskavan is awesome in Hatera or not. So what happened was this person was dragging it on a marble floor. Marble floor, there's no chance of it creating a follow. So this person dragged it in front of Rabbi Yitzchak ben Elazar. Omalei. So he said to him, Omalei, Ishtukiloch, if I'm going to keep quiet and allow you to do this, like the friends of Rabbi Yehuda kept quiet to him, a destruction will come out. Why? Because you'll say, oh, he kept quiet, so it's okay. We forbid dragging a table on the upstairs because you might come to do it on another upstairs, which is made out of earth floor, and you might end up doing a furrow. And this is a very, very important halacha, that even if a person has concrete flooring, you are not allowed to do certain behavior because we're going up to other people that don't have concrete flooring. There's a very, very acidistic tesis, the top tesis over here. I'm not going to spend a long time, but tesis asks the kasha that halacha is one's allowed to sweep his house. And why allowed to sweep your house? Some people have they have earth on the floor. You're not allowed to sweep earth because it's chodesh. So tesis says that in a town where everybody's houses is got concrete or flooring, we're not gozer to another town. But in a town where but if in one town some do, some don't, then we are gozer. This is the reason why you're allowed to sweep your house. Why allowed to sweep your house? Because everybody in Manchester, the vast majority of people in Manchester, do not have earthenware floors. Therefore, we're not gozer for the fact that in Africa there are those that do. But if somebody wants to sweep, let's say, his front garden, assuming that his front garden is, let's say, cement or something, it's forbidden. Why is it forbidden? Because there are many people in Manchester that the front garden has got earth there. So again, we're not gozer from one town to another, we are gozer from within one town. In this particular town, there were people that had the upstairs was earth, so he forbade it. The more carries on, the head of the shul of Botso, Rashi explains the interesting job. He was one who brought the children in to learn and sit them to learn properly. That was the job of the Gabba. Goa Safsala, he dragged a bench in front of Rabbi Yirmiyah the Great. You're relying on Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Yirmiyah's got an interesting shitta, which is more than that we don't pass on that. He holds, when did Rabbi Shimon say that Dover Shein Kavan is mutter is only when you have no choice? Meaning that you need to drag a table. It's impossible to lift a table. So what do? You drag it. If let's say you've got a chair in the garden and you want to take the chair from place A to place B, you've got two options, to drag it or to lift it. Says Rabbi Yirmiyah, why in the world should you drag it when it's possible to lift it? He holds that when you can lift it, you have to lift it. He argues on Ola. They're arguing about small kalim, small things. When it comes to big tables and big chairs, even Rabbi Yehuda agrees it's mutter. Why? Because even Rabbi Yehuda will say to you, look, you've got no choice. How else are you going to move the table? So therefore he allows you to drag it. Most of Rabbi
not hold it over the ground.
What?
Can you not hold it up? Like, why do you have to drag it?
If you've got a big table, you want to move a table from place A to B,
Oh.
how are you going to do it? You can't lift it, so if you've got no choice, you have to drag it. So everybody agrees it's okay. A person allowed to drag mitter a bed, kiss a chair, the safson and the bench. As long as you don't intend to make furrows. It says big ones and it says small ones. Big ones is a bed. A bed is usually a big thing, and a chair is usually a small thing. Kasha letravayu. It's a kasha on both of them. The one who says they're only arguing by big ones, but by small ones, everybody agrees is forbidden. It says chair, which is small. The one who says they only argue by small ones, but by big ones, everybody agrees is permitted. It says bed, and bed is big. Answers the Gemara. We're talking about a bed which is similar to a chair, meaning it's very small. And answered according to his shitta. A chair similar to a bed. That means a bed generally is big. A chair is generally small. There is not an ironclad room. And each one will explain their opinion accordingly. Meaning that if Yomi Rabba holds that a small thing you have to lift up, you're not allowed to drag, we'll say we're talking about only big things. And when we talk about a chair, we mean a chair which is like a bed, one of these massive chairs. And Ulo says the other way around, he will say to you that when we talk about a bed, we're talking about one which is like a chair, which is very small. And that's when Rabbi Yehuda argues. Mosiv Rabba. So Rabba argues. In those days, the way to sell clothes is you'd wear the clothes that you plan to sell, and you'd go out and show people how nice it look. Look at my jacket. Wow, you don't think it's worth buying? And then people would buy it off you. Now, the halacha is not allowed to wear shatnez. So, would a seller be allowed to wear clothes of shatnez in order to display them? And the halacha is, allowed to sell normally, even if it's got shatnez. As long as you don't intend in the summer to protect yourself from the heat, and in the winter to protect yourself from the rain. In the rain, to protect yourself from the rain. Those that were modest, means those who want to do the right thing, they would sling over the makal on a stick and behind them. They would take a long stick and they would hang the jacket on the end of the stick and they would put the stick over the shoulder, and that's how they would carry the jackets in the streets. That means this is going b'shittas of Shimon, the Dov Shimon Miskaven is mutter. So over here, the halacha of kilaim is only forbidden when you want to enjoy the wearing of the clothes. This person is not wearing the jacket in order to enjoy the pleasure of wearing a jacket. He's wearing the jacket for one reason only. He wants to sell it. So he's not doing it in order to have hanor. So it's Dov Shimon Miskaven. Dov Shimon Miskaven according to Shimon is mutter. So you're allowed to wear shatnez on condition that you don't intend to use the clothes in the summer to protect you from the heat and in the winter to protect you from the rain. And if you want to do the right thing, you want to be extra special, you'll hang your jacket on a stick. Now, over here, that you could do like the snow, you could hang it on a stick. And therefore, it's got the same parameters, same halacha, same idea as a ktanim, just like a small jacket, a small chair, where you could pick it up and carry it. Here you've got the ability to put the jacket at the end of a stick. But when you have no intention of benefiting, show it is mutter. Show it permits lechatchila. Tiyuvta, to Yomi Rabba, tiyuvta. It's a kasha, to Yomi Rabba, it's a kasha, and we don't pass them like it. Meaning, if you remember, Yomi Rabba told us that when you're doing double shenim miskaven, it's only mutter if you've got no other way. But here we see clearly that even when there's another way, you're still allowed to do it. What's the raya? Because over here, a person is wearing shatnez clothes in order to sell them, and does he have another way of doing it? What's the other way? What could he do to avoid wearing shatnez? What could he do? Hang the jacket on a stick. But he doesn't have to. Why not? Because since it's double shenim miskaven, we shouldn't hold this mutter. Is a right that we shouldn't hold double shenim miskaven mutter, even in the case where you've got other options, not like Yomi Rabba. So therefore, if a person, for example, has got a chair and he wants to drag it across the garden, and he might make furrows. According to Reb Shimon, does he have to lift it and carry it, or is he allowed to drag it? According to Reb Shimon, he's allowed to drag it. Because Reb Shimon holds that even when you've got another option, you're still allowed to do it, because obviously this carbon is mutar. Says the Mishnah. Somebody who puts out a candle on Shabbos if they should be sorry because he's scared, if they nochim, because of goyim. There was a certain goyish holiday, if we're allowed to call it, a terrible day where they used to serve avodah zarah, and they were only allowed to light candles in their places of worship. So therefore, if you lit your candles at home, it could be dangerous. Or if they list him, or there are robbers around, and now if they see a candle, they'll know there's somebody home, they'll come and rob you. If a person's got a bad mood and he wants to have the solitude and the darkness, it makes him feel better. If they are yishan, again, bad spirit. If they are yishan, or he wants a person who's not well to be able to fall asleep, potter. He is potter. If the reason he puts out the candle is because he's worried about the candle, the lamp. If you think about it, you've got a glass. Ne'er, Rashi tells us many places. Ne'er is not like we translate usually ne'er as the flame. Ne'er, Rashi translates as the lamp. The bowl with which the oil and the wicks are sitting inside. And let's say you see the candles burning and you're scared that the whole lamp is going to smash, going to explode. Because what happens is that sometimes the candle's burning badly and therefore it's going to burn down and break the lamp. Or kechosel Hashem, and you think to yourself, look, the candle's burning and burning, I'm going to run out of oil for next week. Kechosel psilo, or you're worried about the wick. The wick will burn down. Chayav, then you're chayav because of mechab. Rabbi Yossi put it bechulam. Rabbi Yossi patters in all these cases, chutz min psilo, except for the case where you're putting it out to save the wick. That's the third case. If they show it's a pecham because he's making charcoal. Pechem is charcoal. Yes, Tali is pechem charcoal. Is that how I could translate it? Like this, very vaguely. Like no, I just want to see if the article could translate pechem as charcoal.
Yeah, he does.
He does. Oh, very good. Okay, in the base of Mikdash, why would they put out candles? For one of two reasons. One is to create charcoal, and one is that in order to relight it, it would be easier. So therefore, over here it says like this: that Rabbi Yossi holds that when you put out a wick, in order that you should then save the wick and then be able to relight it later, that is awesome. Then you're chayiv. But all the other ones, you're potter because it's malacha she'ein sicha legufo, and therefore you're potter. So the Mishnah told us two categories of reasons why a person might put out a candle. The first set of categories is he's scared. He's scared of the goyim, he's scared of robbers, he's scared of the chayla, the person's not well. The second set of categories is trying to save money. He wants to save the lamp, he wants to save the wick, he wants to save the oil. The first set of cases, the Mishnah tells us that what's the din? He's potter. And the second set of cases, the Mishnah says he's chayav. Over here, we talk about chayav, we mean chayav chatos. Chayav chatos, because we talk about somebody who did it on Shabbos by mistake. He didn't know that it was Shabbos, or he didn't know that it's forbidden to put out a candle on Shabbos. The other cases, it says potter. He's not chayav. Now, on top of Lamed Amud Aleph, there's a very famous machlokes of Yehuda and Reb Shimon, where the melacha she'ein tzricha legufa on Shabbos is chayav or potter. Melacha she'ein tzricha legufa means a melacha which you're not getting an inherent advantage from it. That means a melacha where you're not really keen for it, you're doing it for a side reason. It's actually machlokes actually tells us exactly what is melacha she'ein tzricha legufa. We'll try to do a little bit like Tosfos because it's slightly easier. Tosfos is like Daled Amud Aleph. But basically, Melacha She'tzicha Legufa is you're doing it for a reason when the Mishkan they never did it. Rabbi Yehuda holds Melacha She'tzicha Legufa, Melacha which is not needed for that purpose. You chayav according to Reb Shimon your potter. Now, which one? Our Mishnah is it going more like Rabbi Yehuda or is it going more like Reb Shimon? Anybody want to guess? Our Mishnah is going like Rabbi Yehuda or Reb Shimon.
Okay, more like Shimon because it's potter most of it, no? But it's half. It depends on the...
Which half of the Mishnah? The Gemara understands it's going more like Rabbi Yehuda. Because according to Rabbi Shimon, you could never be chayav. Because in all these cases, you're not really intending to do, you're not putting out the candle for the sake of why you did it in the Beis Hamikdash. You're doing it because you want the robbers to avoid the robbers. You're doing it because you want to save money on your oil. But you're not doing it for the reason they did it to the Mishkan. Obviously, our mission must go like a Yehuda that says, otherwise, the whole mission doesn't even have a shayla. Everything would be potter. Again, let's see the Gemara. Midiktoni Sefer Chayav, since the Sefer says Chayav when you're trying to save money, Shmam no Rabbi Yehuda. It's a right, it's Rabbi Yehuda. That Melacha shein tzricha legufa is Chayav. Veisha b'mayo sikna. What we talk about in the Veisha? If we talk about somebody who's literally on death's door, and that's why we need to put out the candle, they should be able to sleep peacefully, otherwise chas v'shalom, something might happen. It's a mutter. It's mutter. And Rashi says not just about the chayla. For example, the goyim. What Mishnah says, he wants to put out the candle that the goyim don't want him to put on candles because it's their day of avodah zarah. What are they going to do to him if they see that the candle's lit in his house? Are they going to chas v'shalom kill him, which is a sheish b'sakana, or just going to stir eggs at his window? So that is the question over here. So what we're talking about? Are we talking about a situation when it's real pikuach nefesh? So mutami boile. The Mishnah should say, it's permitted. Why it's Mishnah say potter? If we do a that there's no sakana, and let's say it's just got a mild cold, why is he allowed? Why is he potter? That means you have to remember, in Shabbos, we've always got 3 different ways you can paskin. You can say chayav, you can say potter, you can say mutter. Chayav means you've been over an issa d'oraisa. Mutter means you're allowed to lechatchila go and do it. There's absolutely nothing wrong. And potter means you've done something wrong, but you've not done an issa d'oraisa. Going back to our Mishnah is going like a Yehuda. Because otherwise, when the person's trying to save the oil, he certainly won't be chayav. Obviously, we're going like a Yehuda. And the Mishnah starts off that you're trying to put out a candle because of either the goyim, the listing, or because of a chayla. Which kind of chayla? If it's a chayla who's about to die, then what's the halacha? It should be mutter, not potter. Mutter, not potter. It's a mitzvah. And if we talk about chayla shein b'sakana, so why is it potter? At the end of the day, he's got a cold. Let him fall asleep with the cold, with the light on. Says the Gemara, so maybe chayla shein b'sakana, chayv chatos b'boilei, should say chayv chatos. Lo'ilam, b'chayla sheyesh b'sakana. Ubedinu delisni mutter. Mishnah should have said permitted. I did the boiler Mishnah say for chayav. Since the Mishnah wants to say chayav, then Tananami Reisha potter. Since the Mishnah wants to say Mishnah say for chayav, Tananami Reisha potter. The Reisha also says that it is potter. That means the 2 opposing ones is chayav, potter, mutter, osa. So therefore, since the Mishnah at the end is going to say chayav, it fits in better to say potter, but really it's actually mutter. Says it more. The Tanya Barisha. That which Barisha says, if it's for the chayla to fall asleep, lo yichbeish and put it out. Vim cover, if you put it out, potter avalosa, then it's potter, but it's forbidden. So then we're talking about obviously a chayla, ahi b'chayla she'im b'sakana. It must be talking about a chayla she'im b'sakana because it says before it's potter avalosa, so what's to a chayla she'im b'sakana? Because a chayla she'im b'sakana, it will be mutter lechatchila. Rab Shimon he. Okay, what the Tony Rab Shimon Mishra Chilish Shishan Yichbe Vim Kova Potav Velosa. Ahi b'chilish b'sakona Rab Shimon he to a chilish b'sakona b'mas b'Shimon. That means if going called the shittas of Shimon that Malacha Shin Sichel Gufa is not chayim in that Torah. It's only midrabanan, and we're talking about a chayla that doesn't really need it because it's not a chilish yesh b'sakona. And the chilish is that it's part of midrabaisa, but it's chayim midrabanan. Says more like this: Shoel sheila zu. This question was asked le'elo Rav Tanachum demin nevei onoi, in front of Rav Tanachum. In front of Rav Tanachum, this question was asked: Ma'u lechabois boitzina denura? Are allowed to put out a candle, a light, mikame be'isha, in front of a person who's not well, b'Shabbat on Shabbos. They asked him a question: are you allowed to put out a candle for somebody who's not well on Shabbos, b'Shabbat? And his answer took over an amud long. That means he gave them a long Musa drasha, all kinds of Torah. Rashi explains, more explains, because that he wanted to encourage the people to enjoy the Shiur, so he used to tell them interesting things which weren't really relevant. Well, they were a bit relevant. So therefore, since they asked him this question, are you allowed to put out a candle for a chayla? What would you paskin? Are you allowed to put out a candle for a chayla? What would you paskin?
Depends if it's or not.
Depends.
If it's Pekuach Nefesh or not.
But if it's Pekuach Nefesh, then what?
And why
It's
not?
mutter.
And if it's not, then what?
And also.
Also Chayav, what would you pass on?
Also Anchaya if you do it.
It's awesome. It's not Chayav, because we pass like Shimon, the Malacha in Sichel Gufa is only awesome midrabanan, not midorais. Okay. So he said like this: Posach ve'Omar ant shleima, you shleima melech, on chochmosach, on sochlosonusoch. Where's your wisdom? Where's your bina? Where's your understanding? Lo dayecha, is it not enough? Is it not enough for you? Shidvorecha, sosin divrei David avicha, that your words contradict your father. Ele shidvorecha sosin zeh zeh, your words even contradict themselves. David avicha Omar, your father David said, Lo yamesim yahaluka, the dead can't praise Hashem. Meaning that the dead on some level much lower than us, because they can't praise Hashem. And you said, I praise those who already died, which seems to be saying the dead are better off. Then you went and said, some Jews, a dog which is alive, a live dog is better from a dead lion. So he said to Shlomo HaMelech, so to speak, you're contradicting yourself and your father. Your father said the dead people can't praise Hashem, they're a lower level. You say that a live dog's better than a dead lion. And also more than that, you contradict yourself because you said previously I praised the dead. And then you say better a live dog than a dead lion. And Rashi explains the reason he talks about these topics is because all these topics teach us the importance of life. And since it teaches the importance of life, therefore it shows us the chashivus of pekuach nefesh, like you said before, that if it's pekuach nefesh, you're allowed to because it's important. And he answered, Lo kasha, that which the Melech said that the dead can't praise Hashem, Mochi kama. Lo yom yas God b'tov mitzvahs kodem shiyomus. Shekiven shemeis bottom in our Torah mitzvahs. Once a person dies, he's got no Torah, no mitzvahs. Hashem has no praise or success from him. Shvach has no success or good. What does it mean when the Apostle says that the dead are free? Once a person dies, he has become free from Torah and mitzvahs. He has become free from Torah and mitzvahs, from Torah and from mitzvahs. There's a very, very famous story that the Vilna Gaon, he was nifter Chol HaMoed Sukkos, and while he was being nifter, he sat there and he lifted up the tzitzis strings on his beged, and he started crying. And they asked him, why are you crying? He said, in this world with a few pennies, you can buy tzitzis strings. And with that, you can be zeicher to reward forevermore. And in the next world, with all the money in the world, you can't be zeicher to anything at all. And that's what the Apostle says, once a person dies, he's lost the opportunity. Of course, it is true that death is a wonderful thing in a way that a person gets tremendous schar. The Chum Savov is very nicely, he brings a mashal, and he says there are mixed feelings when a person looks towards his death. He brings the famous mashal, a great length of the country that used to appoint a king for a year, and after a year they would kick him out. So the first time they appointed a king, he spent the entire year accumulating wealth, building himself a palace that nobody had ever seen before. At the end of the year, they kicked him out, he had nothing left from it. The second year, they got a king who was a bit wiser, and he asked, what happened to the previous king? And he found out, so he spent the entire year sending everything he could get a hold of to another country. At the end of the year, they kicked him out, and he went to a place full of his wealth and riches and all of what he had stored up. And as he left his first country, where he had been king for a year, he had mixed feelings. On one hand, he was happy, because finally he was going to enjoy all the fruits of what he'd been working for all year round. On the other hand, he was disappointed, because he thought to himself, if I kick for 2 years, I could store up even more in that country. And he says that's how when a person looks to his death, he has to think to himself that on one hand, I'm getting the rewards for my life. On the other hand, it's disappointing, I can't live longer to do more. And that's what it means that I praise Hashem, that the dead can't praise Hashem. And again, it's given Shemesa Adam, that's Chavshanat and Mitzvahs, comes free from 2 mitzvahs. I praise the dead who already died. Shekshechotu Yisrael by Midbar. When Kaisel sinned in the Midbar, he said many different tefillahs in front of him and begging. Hashem didn't reply. Remember, immediately Hashem answered him. Is it not right? Is it not good what Shlomo said? I praise those who already died. And Rashi over here brings the words of Chazal. That tzaddik, when he's not alive, is greater than when he was alive. So Rashi says there was nobody at tzaddik like Moshe Rabbeinu, and all his tefillahs never helped. And Avram Yitzchak and Yaakov, their tefillah did help. That's a big mikro to daven at Kvorim or at different places, as you see that the Beisim got tremendous koyach. Another meaning to this pasuk. The meaning of this word is Melech Basav Adom. Goize Gezeo. Decrees. Safik Mekayim Oisa, Safik Ein Mekayim Oisa. Sometimes it's a doubtful when people listen to it. And even if they say they do listen to it, Bechayov Mekayim Oisa. Then Bechayim Mekayim Oisa, when he's alive, they listen to it. But Moisa, the once he dies, Ein Mekayim Oisa, people stop listening to him. He made many decrees, a few decrees, and the many takonos, a number of takonos. And they've lasted forever and ever. Is it not wonderful what Shlomo said? Is it not good? I praise the dead. Moshe Rabbeinu is not alive, and his decrees have greater strength than the decrees of the kings who are alive today, and a lot of people don't listen to. Rashi says, what decrees did Moshe Rabbeinu enact? What one of the decrees? Anybody know offhand something which Moshe Rabbeinu told us to do? One of the things he told us is that you should learn the halachas of Yom Tov on Yom Tov. So Mitzvah Shem on Pesach, when you learn halachas Pesach, there's no dafshe anyway, so you've got more time. On Yom Tov, you can learn halachas Pesach. And you'll be doing something that Moshe Rabbeinu said, that there's a story that I say to my children every single year. It is a little bit boring, but every year I've got different younger ones that they don't remember. The old ones already know it. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. You can say it to a great length. I'll say it very short. The B'ditchev Rebbe once went out on Pesach, and he said to one of his Gaboim, you know, they don't allow you to smuggle tobacco in this country. Please, can you get me hold of some tobacco? And he said, if you're willing to pay for it, and he went and he got him some. He said, now I want you to go and buy me some chametz. Find a yid for some chametz. And he said, wait, chametz, which yid? Please tell them I'll pay any price for any yid that will sell me some chametz. And he couldn't get it. He came back to him hours later. No, nobody could sell it. And he turned around to Hakadosh and he said to Hashem, the government with the police force and the prisoner and all the punishments in the courts stop people from bringing in tobacco into this country. And do they manage? No. So as the Gemara over here says, sometimes people listen, sometimes don't. There are still people smuggling tobacco, even though the government forbids it, and even if there's huge prison sentences and fines. And you told us not to bring in the chametz, and there's no prison, there's no army, there's no soldiers, there's no police force. And yet, every single Yid next week, Mitzvah Hashem will be first day Pesach, there won't be one of us that will own a drop of chametz. And there's no fine. You don't get to 3 points and £200 speeding ticket, whatever it is. And yet we listen to it. You see, Moshe told us to do something. It's a beautiful story to show the guidance of Klal Yisrael. This is a long story. That David HaMelech asked Hashem, do with me a sign for the good. My enemies should see and they should be embarrassed. Forgive me for that sin. Which sin? The sin of Bathsheba. Hashem said to him, it's forgiven. Hashem forgave him. Can you imagine? Amazing thing that Hashem forgave him straight away. So Melech said, so do me a sign in my lifetime that people should know that you've forgiven me. He said to him, no. In your lifetime, I'm not going to let the people know that I've forgiven you. In the lifetime of Shlomo, your son, I will announce to the world, I'll let everybody know that I've forgiven you. He wants to bring the on into the Kodesh HaKadoshim. The gates closed on themselves. They attached themselves to each other. They attached themselves to each other. And they couldn't get in. Omar Shlomo, they attached themselves, couldn't get in. Omar Shlomo, he said 24 praises. Rashi tells us that if you look carefully in that Parsha in Malachim, 24 times he used the word Rina, Tefillah, these kinds of words 24 times. And Hashem did not answer. Posach ve'omas, he opened up and said, Sushon Mosheichem, open up your gates. Ve'nosu pischei olam, the gates of the world should open up, lift up. Ve'yovo melech hakovit. Wa'atu basre, the gates came running after Shlomo HaMelech, lemivlei. They wanted to swallow him up. They thought that he was referring to himself as being an important king, so their gates came to swallow him up. Amru. So they said to me, who is this Melech HaKavod that you think so much of yourself? Amalu, he said to them, no. Hashem Izus v'Giboy. I'm talking about Hashem who's strong. I'm not discussing myself. I'm talking about Hashem who is mighty. That's the Melech HaKavod, not myself. Hashem who's mighty, that is the one that I'm talking about as being Melech HaKavod. And again, they said, Mi uzeh Melech HaKavod. And again, he replied, Hashem Tzvokos, Hashem Master of Legions, who Melech HaKavod Selo, he is the Kavod, King of Kavod. But and he still wasn't answered. Can you imagine, after all that effort of building the Beis HaMikdash, he still wasn't answered. He still couldn't get the oil to the Kodesh HaKadosh. Don't turn back. Don't turn your face from the one you anointed. Remember the mitzvahs of David HaMelech. Immediately was Hashem answered him. All the faces of the enemies of David turned. Like the bottom of a pot. The bottom of a pot is black. And all the people that hated David HaMelech, the faces turned black because they realized how much Hashem loved David HaMelech. That Hashem forgave him for that sin. But is it not wonderful, not right what Shlomo HaMelech said? That with all the tefillahs of Shlomo HaMelech, he couldn't get the oil into Kodesh HaKadoshim. But David HaMelech was able to. So you see, those who are dead are better than those who are alive. On the 8th day, what happened was, Shlomo HaMelech sent the people home. Does anybody know which day of the year that day was? Which day of the year was it? Hebrew date. Shmini Atzeres. That's why, those who remember, we laid this on Shmini Atzeres. And the more darshans each part of the pasuk. They went to the tents. They found the wives of the Torah. That's what Olem is always reference to one's wife, the tent. What's the place? Smeichim, rejoicing, happy. They appreciate, they enjoyed the radiance of the Shechina. Everyone they had a baby boy. That Hashem forgave him for that sin. Because that year was the only time that Klal Yisrael ate on Yom Kippur, because they celebrated Chanukah Sabayis for 14 days. And I just mentioned to you that last day was Shmini Atzeres. That was the 15th day. If you count 14 days back from Shmini Atzeres, you overlap Yom Kippur, and they ate on Yom Kippur. And Hashem forgave them, and Hashem forgave them for the sin of Yom Kippur. And now we're explaining the third pasuk. We had one pasuk that was referring to the fact that once a person dies, he's not able to do mitzvahs, the story of the Yonagom. Then we had the Shabeach Chanis HaMeisim, that we praise the dead. We had a few explanations. Either the Moshe Rabbeinu's tefillahs didn't work only because of Amitzvah Yaakov, or the Moshe Rabbeinu's tefillahs, takanas, are more powerful than the takanas of the kings of nowadays. Alternatively, is that only David HaMelech's chus allowed the oil to come into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, and not Moshe Shlomo. Or the Kama Shlomo, Kilekelev Chayu Tum Nariyah Meis, that a live dog is better than from a dead lion. A live dog is better than a dead lion. What does it mean? Another long story. David HaMelech asked Hashem, I want to know how long I'm going to live for. Rashi, the post-shot in Rashi is like this. I want to know what's going to happen to me. What's going to happen to me in my end? All the future events of my life. So Hashem said to him, there's a decree from before me. We don't tell people, we don't announce what happens to human beings. So he said, okay, you're not going to tell me the future. I want to know how many years am I going to live. How long am I going to live? So Hashem, how long am I going to live? So Hashem said to him, that we don't tell people how long a person is going to live. Nobody knows how long they're going to live. So let me know at least when will I stop being in existence? I want to know which day I'll stop being in existence, which day I'll die. When will I stop being in existence? So Hashem said, that I can tell you. They'll die on Shabbos. Hashem told them, you're going to die on Shabbos. So almost Bechad with Shabbos, David should die on Sunday. He said he didn't want to die on Shabbos because he wanted people to be able to bury him well. He said to him, I can't do that for you. It's already reached the time for Shlomo, your son, to be a king. One malchus cannot overlap another malchus. It can't touch another malchus. Even a hair's breadth. That means Shlomo's time to be king. You can't be king. So he said, okay, almost Be'erev Shabbos. So let me at least again. Nimo means like the width of a hair. Okay, almost Be'erev Shabbos. Let me die on a Friday. You said into him, better one day in your courtyards than 1,000. That better one day of learning that you're going to do than 1,000 kabbonos that Shlomo Melech is going to be on the Mizbeach. And therefore, I don't want you to die a day early because you'll lose out on the Torah. So I don't want the Shlomo Melech like in the Fanal Mizbeach. Rashi says that when Shlomo Melech built the Beis Hamikdash, he brought 1,000 kabbonos. But that 1,000 kabbonos was not as special as David Melech learning for one day. So you can't die on Friday either. We're up to Lamed on base top of the page. So David Melech asked Hashem, when will he die? He said Shabbos. He said, let me die on Sunday. He said, it's not fair to Shlomo. Let me die on Friday. No, because I don't want you to lose the Torah. So Kol Yom Shabbos, so every Shabbos, every single day of Shabbos, have a Yossi v'Gois Kol Yom. He sat and learned the entire day. As Rashi explains, that that a person, when he's learning Torah, Torah protects, and therefore a person can't come to harm when he's learning Torah. So he thought that way, he won't die on Shabbos. That day which he needed to die, which was necessary that he should die, Malach HaMovos came in front of him. Malach HaMovos wasn't able to do anything to him. To have a pasuk for me, McGill says, mouth did not stop learning. What could I do to him? Havale Bustana of the Melech had an orchard. Behind his house. Also Malach HaMovos came solik, he climbed on the trees, or Bochich Beiloni, and he shook the trees, and that way to make a lot of noise. Nofak Lemechza, he went out to see, but when he went out to see, he still was learning. Havasolik V'Dargo, he went up on the step. If Chisdargo, the step broke, Mitusei from underneath him. If Chisdargo to say the step fell before him, in front of underneath him. Ishtik, he stopped learning, but Noch Nafshen, he died. Because when the step broke, and he fell off the step, he stopped learning and he died. Sholach Shlomo, Noch Nafshe, he died. Sholach Shlomo Lebei Medrash, Shlomo Melech sent to the Beis Medrash the following questions. Abo Meis Umutu Bechama, my father's dead, and he's lying in the sun because he died. Where did David Melech die? While he was walking outside in the orchard, and he fell to his death on the Shabbos afternoon. So my father's lying in the sun, dead. And a dead person, what's the halacha? He's muktzah. Muktzah, which kind of muktzah? Muktzah machmas gufa. The more much later, we'll discuss in great detail. But a dead person, muktzah machmas gufa. The klovim shel beis abba, the dogs of my father's house. The avim, they're hungry. Mo'esa, what should I do? Sholchu lei, they sent him as follows. Sholchu lei, they sent him as follows. Chatoich nevele, chop up a dead carcass. V'hanach lifnei klovim, and give it lifnei klovim, give it to the dogs. V'avicha, your father, hanach alav kikar, put on him a loaf of bread, or a baby, v'talteloi, or a child, v'talteloi, and carry him. That means we'll learn this all in much more detail later. The halacha is you're allowed to hold an nevela for the dogs because we hold that you're allowed to, the nevela is mutter for dogs because you have to feed your dogs. So regarding the dogs, he wasn't mechuyev to work b'derech shinoi. He could just cut it up. But his father, that was muktzah machmas gufa, he wasn't allowed to carry. What he was allowed to do is to put a loaf of bread which a person needs, or a baby which a person needs on top of David HaMelech's body, then carry the body, and it's called tiltul for something else. Normally that's also awesome, right? But for Kvoid HaMes, there were matter such a thing. So it's not correct what Shema said, better a live dog than a lion which is dead. So what do you see? That regarding the David HaMelech, he had to work b'shinoi. Regarding the dogs, he didn't have to work b'shinoi. It's a raya that a live dog is more important than a dead lion. David HaMelech compared to a lion. Now, finally, after this long introduction, if you remember, what was the original question that he was asked? Does anybody remember what the question was? Are you allowed to put out a candle for somebody who's not well? That was the question. Regarding the question, I asked in front of you. Rashi says he spoke like this in humility, because really they asked him, but he spoke as if he asked them. I asked in front of you. A candle is called a candle. When the Shema says and the Shema of a person is called a candle, better put out the candle of a boss of a dom because of the candle of Hashem. And the Shema is a candle of Hashem. A human candle is only a human candle. So if you need to put out a candle for somebody who's about to die, and because he's not well, then you're allowed to put out the candle. And Rashi obviously points out that this answer has really not the halachic source. How do we know that you're allowed to put out a candle for somebody for pekuach nefesh? Because the Torah says, that pekuach nefesh is doich kol ha'Torah kulo. But in order to encourage them, they should listen well and enjoy the shiur, he came up with a more interesting answer. What's the interesting answer? He said to them, a human neshama is a candle. There's a physical candle. Better put out the physical candle for the neshama, which is a spiritual, the candle of Hashem. I've got a book I bought, a beautiful, beautiful book by Rabbi Yosef. And he describes amazing stories. One of the stories, he says that he used to say a very lot of stories, and he gave shiurim, halacha shiurim. One time his son said to him, I don't understand why you say so many stories. So he said, come with me to my next shiur. And came with him to the shiur. And he said, halacha after halacha, and people started dozing off. So he smiled at his son and he said, and now I've got a story to tell you. And everybody woke up. So he said to his son, see that if you want the attention of the audience, you've got to say it in a good way. So look over here. If you look at Rashi, by me, it's the first of the thinner lines. Mutav tichbe. Says Rashi, lama och yalev chilul Shabbos. Koach nefesh dafka m'chayim v'meshyomus b'hem. En la'atim na'adov v'agod ha'mesheches es alev. V'yishboi nishma adrosh ha'noshim v'amoritz v'yitzich na'ad ha'shonim v'msheches avom. You've got to draw the hearts. Omar Yehuda Beidav Shmuel Bar Sheilas Mishmei Darav. Bikshu Chacham Nignei Sefer Keheles. They wanted to put away the Sefer Keheles with Deishet Vav Seisin Zeh because the words contradict each other. If they Malu Ginzur, why didn't they hide it? It starts with Divrei and finishes with Divrei, and Rashi Kavachim in the middle is Divrei. What gain does a person have with all his effort? Below the sun. After the sun. Below the sun, there's no te'eles. But that which comes before the sun, that's Torah which comes before the sun, higher than the sun, yesh loy, there's a big te'eles. There's nothing under the sun that gives a te'eles, but before the sun there is. Keep the Torah, keep the mitzvahs, listen to Hashem. Fear Hashem is mitzvah shemoi kizeh kol ha'odam, mai kizeh kol ha'odam, Omar Belezer, Simtzei Belezer. The whole world was only created for this person, for this person who serves Hashem. He's equal. This person's equal. The whole world is equal to the whole world. The whole was not created. Elo the tzavos lezeh to be company for this one. The tzavos lezeh to be company for this one. That means that Yehuda finishes off. The whole world was created just to be company for this person that serves Hashem. Okay, we did today. Yeah, we will stop here. It's a couple of minutes early. Did a daf. It's a long daf actually. Yeah, it's always a struggle. I don't go too far ahead because not geschmack. On the other hand, I don't want that we should suddenly fall. We might end up falling a bit behind on these 4 days of Pesach. I will record the Mitzvah Blin. I hope to very much record Shiurim. But even so, look, the truth about it is we'll have Mitzvah Shem, other times to catch up, the whole summer and everything else. I wish you all a very, so tomorrow Mitzvah Shem 11 o'clock. Oh, so that wish I was Shabbos, those who I won't see tomorrow. So the Shiur is normally 11 o'clock, but afterwards it'll be on YouTube or on Kolel Oshem for those who think. Any hars? Betty asked me a very good question. Oh, there you are. As regard we talked about yesterday, muktzah, that pips or muktzah because it's nolad. So all things that should be cooked are nolad. So it's interesting. It's like one Beitza discusses about Dovam and Amucham. And it's interesting, it comes out like this. I spent some time on this actually today. It's like this. When you cook something, on Friday afternoon, you're fully aware that this is what the food is for, and this is what you're thinking about, the raw food, the cooked foods. Therefore, it's not muktzah, it's not set aside. Shein King Pips, a person, when he's got dates in his house, he's not thinking, oh, I've got pips for later, which I'm going to then burn, etc. And therefore, pips are muktzah, it is no lad. It's interesting when we do. We Lamaisa are much more maker than Yehuda Benny, by the way. We won't hold of that, of course. Like we said, that Shivvei Kelim, we won't hold. In Yom Tov, we're more machmir gabe muktzah. Okay, any other ha'as? Everybody should you can talk to each other. How's everybody? How are you? Chaim, Tali, Ben, Yechiel, Andrew. How are you, Andrew? I'm not speaking to you usually. Tyler, you all okay?
Yeah.
Yehuda and Moishi. I don't know why you call yourself Shush Gabba. What does that mean?
Tell everyone to be quiet.
You're telling everybody. Yossi, how are you doing, Yossi? You okay? Yossi, you were planning to go to America, weren't you? No? Yossi?
Yossi.
Falling asleep.
He's fallen asleep. It's his picture, it's not him.
Who is it?
Tell a story, you might wake up.
Yossi, you were planning to go to America for Pesach, no?
Baruch Hashem, back to work.
Back to work.
Yep.
Very good. Okay, every Shabbat Tzlochas will be well. And the Gemara says of here that the Melech HaMalos can't come while we're busy with them, even when the Shmuel told him to.
Oh.
Very good. That's Tzlochas with everything.
Yeah. Yep.
Bye.
See you guys.
See you all.
Ben, you didn't have much to eat, Ben, today. I'm worried about you. Have you run out?
Finished cleaning. That's the same cup as last night.
No, it's not. I've put them in cups because comets and stuff.
Where's your chocolate
raisins? It's the same ones as last night.
No, it's not.
See you later.
See you all.
Bye.
Good night, all.
Good night.